Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you an inside look to what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we'll be talking all about Mercury Retrograde that starts in Virgo and moves into Leo. But in case you missed it, last week we had the new moon in Leo as well as Venus entering Virgo. So if you want to know more about that, then definitely check out last week's episode before diving into this one.
And just to give you a heads up, next week we will tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming full moon in Aquarius and Jupiter square Saturn.
And with that being said, let's dive into the episode. So Mercury retrograde begins in the sign of Virgo on August 5th at 12:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. And yes, that could be August 4th, depending on where you live in the world. What you need to know. Mercury retrograde in Virgo brings a chance for introspection and refinement. This time encourages better communication, improving your organization skills, and paying more attention to details. So use the energy of Mercury retrograde in Virgo to review your plans and any contracts or agreements you might be in. Definitely use this period to polish your work and gain clarity and get any essential revisions done that will help you in the future.
How this affects you. This transit can make you more of a perfectionist and increase the chances of misunderstandings or errors in communication. Because Virgo is very detail oriented, when you're focused on getting everything to be just right, it can lead to mistakes because you are overlooking important details or you start to second guess your decisions. It's really important to take your time to double check information before making any decisions, and also try to avoid rushing because the pressure to do things with a limited amount of time can also cause you to make mistakes that could have been avoided.
So why this matters? Virgo's influence during the Mercury retrograde brings that focus on practicality and detail. So during Mercury retrograde in Virgo, you're encouraged to get into better routines or make your routines more efficient. For example, you might find a better way to organize your tasks, like using a planner to keep track of any appointments or any to-do lists. This is overall a really good time to improve how you do things day to day. And it's also a good opportunity to address any bad habits that you might have and find new healthy habits you can start implementing into your life, such as getting in some movement every day, stretching, drinking water, or journaling. So this is overall a good period to be making any positive changes in your life that can affect your well-being and help bring some more order and organization into your day-to-day.
Something you might not know is that this Mercury retrograde in Virgo is also the perfect time to focus on self-care and making choices that will enhance your overall well-being. In addition to reflecting on your health, you also might find ways to enhance, improve, or adjust your daily routine or any patterns that you might have overlooked in the past. It's a good time to review and reflect on the things that you do to take care of yourself and pay attention to what your mind and body needs in the moment. If you find that you are not feeling so well, then this would be a good time to rest in order to recover. And per usual, certain signs are more affected than others. The signs that are most affected by Mercury retrograde in Virgo are Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius placements. By placements, we mean Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, or Mars placements only.
Not to interrupt the flow of Mercury retrograde and the Mercury retrograde episode, but in true retrograde fashion, my microphone broke in the middle of recording this episode. So if my audio sounds different, hopefully we did a good job hiding it. We're blaming that on Mercury retrograde and technology issues. But the show must go on. And with that being said, once Mercury retrograde starts in Virgo, it will shift into the sign of Leo. This will happen on August 14th at 8:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what you need to know: when Mercury retrograde moves out of Virgo and into Leo, the focus is going to change to now be more on creativity, self-expression, and leadership. While Mercury retrograde is in Leo, it's a really good time to revisit any past creative projects you might have had or reconnect with any activities or hobbies that once brought you joy. So, for example, maybe you really loved painting or playing an instrument and haven't done it in a while. You might find that it's beneficial to revisit it during the retrograde. And regardless, Mercury retrograde in Leo is a great way to explore new ways to express yourself and to also build up your confidence.
How this affects you. Your communication might be more dynamic and expressive during this time. You might notice that people are more open to share their thoughts and feelings, which can lead to deeper connections and good conversations. However, the intensity can also increase the likelihood of misunderstandings. So to make the most of this, focus on listening actively and make sure that you think things through so that you're able to speak clearly. By staying calm and taking a step back at times, you will be better able to understand where others are coming from and able to communicate your own ideas effectively.
So, why this matters? Leo's influence on the Mercury retrograde is going to encourage you to be more bold, but it can also amplify your pride or desire for recognition. During Mercury retrograde, you're definitely prompted to reconsider how you express yourselves authentically. So use this time to refine the way that you express yourself and make sure that it is truly in alignment with your true self, and allow this to be an opportunity to embrace your authentic self and be confident, paving the way for genuine recognition.
Something you might not know is that this transit can uncover hidden talents or bring back opportunities from the past, including interests that you might have had during your childhood. You might find yourself rediscovering skills or passions that you had. It's a great time to explore any nostalgic interests that come up and see how they can enhance your current life and routines.
Certain signs will be affected more than others. Those are going to be Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. And that is personal placements only. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, and or Mars will feel the Mercury retrograde once it moves into Leo. Now, we figured you would want the entire Mercury retrograde schedule, including when it starts, pre-shadow, post-shadow, and any aspects that will happen during the entire Mercury retrograde. So here they are. Mercury retrograde pre-shadow technically began already. That started on July 16th at 11:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if the retrograde energy seems to be already building up in your life, you know now that pre-shadow has already been happening, and it was a time where you were really preparing for the upcoming retrograde.
And then on August 5th at 12:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury retrograde in Virgo officially begins at 4 degrees Virgo. This is a time to review and reflect on your communication, health routines, and wellness.
A few days after Mercury retrograde begins in Virgo, on August 7th, Mercury retrograde will conjunct Venus in Virgo, which is a day where you'll be focused on revisiting any relationship matters or financial or artistic endeavors.
And then on August 14th at 8:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury retrograde will shift from Virgo into Leo. This is going to shift our focus towards Leo themes, making it a good time to reconsider any creative pursuits and focus more on your self-expression.
On August 18th, Mercury retrograde in Leo will square Uranus in Taurus, which can bring some sudden realizations or cause maybe some interruptions or breakthroughs when it comes to any creative projects or how you are communicating with others.
And then on August 24th, Mercury retrograde in Leo will sextile Mars in Gemini, which is going to add energy to your discussions and communication. This also might be a time where you are collaborating with others, especially on projects that need to be revised because of the retrograde energy, or if you are going back to other tasks from the past.
Then on August 28th at 5:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury retrograde will end and Mercury will station direct in the sign of Leo. So, August 28th, end of the retrograde, clarity is returning. We have progress once again in our communication, but not entirely.
Because there is still a post-shadow phase to the Mercury retrograde, the post-shadow phase will end on September 11th at 7:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when all of the effects of the Mercury retrograde are officially resolved, and it is time to move forward when it comes to our thinking and communication.
And that is it for this week's episode. Just a reminder, next week we'll be talking all about the full moon in Aquarius as well as Jupiter square Saturn. So if you want to know more about those two transits, then definitely make sure wherever you're listening to the podcast, you're subscribed with the notifications turned on so you don't miss when we post next week. But until then, that is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday. Bye!